I was able to give that my all. I owe it to you. You stayed true to yourself, finishing it with that single strike. It made me think of all your heroic actions up until now. Anyway, let's get back to the village.
Jeez, that took forever to do. Ay. Anyway, that's stuff to read. Hello and welcome back. So right now I'm going to be reading because there's a new document thing. I need to go to a little more quieter area because the bear there kind of gets noisy. So let me try going here. Yeah, let's put it here. Character directory. Hongjing. Hongjing tracked down Lu Bu, who had fled alongside Cao Cao with naturally the elixir. Huh? Okay. Hongjing tracked down Lu Bu, who had fled alongside Cao Cao with, naturally, the elixir. The pursuit finally drove Lu Bu to a dead end at Jiapai. Jiapai? Jiapai? I think it's Jiapai. The pursuit finally drove Lu Bu to a dead end at Jiapai. Looking to find answers from Lu Bu, Hongjing entered the keep along with the protagonist. As they entered the keep's hall, however, she witnessed what once was Lu Bu transformed into a vile demon by the hand of the black-clad Taoist, Yuji. Briefly after the protagonist vanquished him, Lu Bu finally called out to Hongjing as his sister with a faint smile. He had gone to the lengths of taking the guise of a villain and joining forces with Dongjia and Yuji for the sole intent of protecting his village and sister. The blood he had shed was for no one but his family. Recollecting the mellow memories of her brother, Hongjing broke down in tears, holding the now bloodied mask in her arms. Hongjing tracked down Lu Bu, who fled alongside Cao Cao with naturally the elixir. The pursuit finally drove Lu Bu to a dead end at Jiapai. Looking to find answers from Lu Bu, Hongjing entered the keep along with the protagonist. As they entered the keep's hall, however, she witnessed what once was Lu Bu transformed into a vile demon by the hand of the black-clad Taoist, Yuji. Briefly after the protagonist vanquished him, Lu Bu finally called out to Hongjing as his sister with a faint smile. He had gone to the lengths of taking the guise of a villain and joining forces with Dongjia and Yuji, for the sole intent of protecting his village and sister. The blood he had shed was for no one but his family. Recollecting the mellow memories of her brother, Hongjing broke down in tears, holding the now bloodied mask in her arms. Okay. Liu Bei fought to defend Jiapai. Sorry. Liu Bei fought to defend Jiapai. Liu Bei fought to defend Jiapai from. Liu Bei fought to defend Jiapai after Lu Bu seized Zhu province, but soon gave in to Lu Bu's relentless assaults. With Jiapai falling into Lu Bu's hands along with other cities, wasting no time, Liu Bei enlisted the help of Cao Cao and the protagonist for a recapture operation. Upon defeating its guardian, Jing Liao, he participated in Cao Cao's assault on Jiapai, where Lu Bu awaited in order to return the favor. After the fall of Lu Bu, an unforeseen strike from Yuan Shao brought chaos among his allies. Yet Liu Bei stood alone to face the demon army to bide time for the protagonist and company to escape. He was seen violently charging into the mass of demons and has not been heard from since then. Cao Cao. Seeing the hold Dong Zhao had gained on the capital, Cao Cao fled and set about building up an army. His forces were centered on Cao and Zhao families, and fought valiantly as part of the coalition against Dong Zhao. However, the coalition failed in its objective and fell apart. Cao Cao then reorganized his forces and, recruiting without regard to background, expanded his numbers by bringing Xing province's Yellow Turban remnants under his control. In the meantime, Lu Bu had slain Dong Zhao and taken possession of his cache of elixir. A clash between Cao Cao and Lu Bu ensued, and the former was on the back foot. Cao Cao allied with Liu Bei, who had been driven from his base in Zhu province, and their alliance overcame Lu Bu, but they were then set upon by Yuan Shao's forces, who, having been bolstered by Yuji's sorcery, overwhelmed them. Cao Cao thus lost vast swaths of territory and the elixir he had only just obtained. Taking possession of his cache of elixir, a clash between Cao Cao and Lu Bu ensued, and the former was on the back foot. Cao Cao allied with Liu Bei, who had been driven from his base in Zhu province, and their alliance overcame Lu Bu, but they were then set upon by Yuan Shao's forces, who, having been bolstered by Yuji's sorcery, overwhelmed them. Cao Cao thus lost vast swaths of territory and the elixir he had only just obtained. Swaths. Okay. Swaths. Okay. Lu Bu, sorry. After raiding Puyang, Lu Bu proceeded to take over Zhu province from Liu Bei, provoking retaliation from both Cao Cao and Liu Bei. Seeing this, Lu Bu took shelter at Xiaopai, entrusting Puyang and Xiaopei to his aides. Entrusting Puyang and Xiaopei to his aides. Despite waging wars on lord after lord, he kept himself secluded in the shelter, with the elixir Despite waging wars on lord after lord, he kept himself secluded in the shelter, with the elixir inexplicably secluded in a shelter, with the elixir inexplicably untouched. Seeking to question him on this behavior, the black-clad Taoist Yuji paid a visit to Xiaopai. This was what Lu Bu had schemed for all along. He then took advantage of the elixir to unleash superhuman strength and utterly overpower Yuji. In retaliation, however, Yuji caught Lu Bu off guard and injected him with excess elixir, inducing a horrific mutation. Devoid of ability to reason, he proceeded to assault the protagonist in Hongjing. In their tragic fight to the death, the protagonist emerged victorious and Lu Bu fell to the ground. He had the protagonist swear an oath with him and promised to kill Yuji. with his dearly beloved sister beside him as Lu Bu exhaled his final breath. After raiding Puyang, Lu Bu proceeded to take over Zhu province from Liu Bei, provoking retaliation from both Cao Cao and Liu Bei. Seeing this, Lu Bu took shelter at Xiaopai, entrusting Puyang and Xiaopei to his aides. Despite waging wars on lord after lord, he kept himself secluded in the shelter, with the elixir inexplicably untouched. After raiding Puyang, Lu Bu proceeded to take over Zhu province from Liu Bei, provoking retaliation from both Cao Cao and Liu Bei. Seeing this, Lu Bu took shelter at Xiaopai, entrusting Puyang and Xiaopei to his aides. Despite waging wars on lord after lord, he kept himself secluded in the shelter, with the elixir inexplicably untouched, seeking to question him on this behavior. The black-clad Taoist Yuji paid a visit to Xiaopai. This was what Lu Bu had schemed for all along. He then took advantage of the elixir to unleash superhuman strength and utterly overpower Yuji. In retaliation, however, Yuji caught Lu Bu off guard and injected him with excess elixir, inducing a horrific mutation. Devoid of ability to reason, he proceeded to assault the protagonist and Hongjing. In their tragic fight to the death, the protagonist emerges victorious. Devoid of ability to reason, he proceeded to assault the protagonist and Hongjing. In their tragic fight to the death, the protagonist emerged victorious, and Lu Bu fell to the ground. He had the protagonist swear an oath. With him and promised to kill Yuji, with his dearly beloved sister beside him, as Lu Bu exhaled his final breath. Okay. Alright, since it's another time period. Liu Bei wanders. 194. In Zhongyuan, Lu Bu took Puyang from Cao Cao, but soon lost it after Cao Cao's general Xiahou Dun struck back. He then attacked Zhu province, a territory that Liu Bei had gained through an alliance he formed after the coalition's dissolution with the province's inspector, Tiao Qian. Zhang Fei was disputing for Liu Bei at the time of Lu Bu's assault, but failed to repel him. Lu Bu set himself up in Xiaopai, while sending Zhang Liao to Xiaopei. His defensiveness, in spite of the advantage elixir gave him, oh my god, why am I messing up on simple words? Ugh, come on. His defensiveness, in spite of the advantage elixir gave him, was perplexing to Cao Cao and Liu Bei, but they continued their assault, albeit cautiously. The historical version of events was that Lu Bu took Zhu province from Liu Bei, was away attacking Yuanshu, and wanting to retake his territory. Liu Bei allied with Cao Cao to defeat Lu Bu. Lu Bu's end. 199. or 199. The Allied forces of Cao Cao and Liu Bei flooded Cao Pai, where Lu Bu was entrenched, by draining a nearby river. As this was happening, Lu Bu faced down Yuji, having used the elixir as bait to lure him out. Taking elixir himself, he managed to corner the Taoist, but Yuji injected him with another dose, causing him to lose his mind. The protagonist was left with no option but to kill him. Yuan Shao then arrived with an army of demons, assaulted the city, and took possession of the elixir, and Lu Bu's beloved steed, Red Hair. Historical sources say that when Lu Bu was facing defeat, Yuan Shu, wishing to make an alliance, proposed a marriage between his son and Lu Bu's daughter. However, this came to nothing after Cao Cao intervened to sabotage the relationship. So it's the romance one where Lu Bu dies trying to protect that one girl? Huh. Is that how you do it? I don't remember. I'm just going by Dynasty Warrior. That's my only... I know that game has its own stories too. I'm just wondering if romance did the... like he dies in a certain way. Or if romance is only like with Cao Cao and all that. I don't really know that well. Sorry. I just know in Dynasty Warriors he was always trying to protect that one lady, but I forgot her name. And they were like kind of, you know, like they were, I think, romantic. They were in a romance relationship. Yeah. Because remember there was a carriage, and if you're playing Cao Cao's forces, you go attack the carriage to win. If you're playing as Lu Bu, you protect everything. Yeah. But that was on the third or fourth game? I think it was the third game. I think my last Dynasty is the third one, but then I played Orochi on the PS3. The more recent Orochi, where it had like some characters from other games. Yeah. And then the only Dynasty Warriors I played after that was a Gundam inspired version. So yeah. Alright. Yeah, I'm gonna end the video here.